Hello ladies and gentlemen, Captain Check here, and welcome back to Space Engineers Modding Collection. Now this one I'm starting out a little different. Normally I start in-game, but I'm going to start in the menu because I want to show you what they've added in this recent patch. It's sort of a mod. They've allowed us to mod the top speed of spaceships in Space Engineers. I mean, it's the top speeds of everything that moves. So before we were stuck at like 114.5, I think it was, meters per second. Now you can go as high as you want based on the mod you install. All right, let's load up a world. Now the way you do this, and I'll show you the one that I'm gonna be using, we'll just do the shack. Oh, we can't do that. Actually, we've gotta start a new map. Here's the deal with modding speed. Now I tested this on a lot of the maps that I have on here, and it didn't work. You have to start a new map if you want to test out the speed mods. Now I'm betting they're gonna patch that so you can mod speed for old maps. I don't see why you shouldn't be able to, but for now you have to make a new world. So we're gonna go new world, we're gonna go custom world, we'll just grab twin platforms, and we're gonna go to mods. Now, the mod that I'll be installing is the dark environments, no, the ship speed 350 to 800. This one will allow the capital ships to go 350 meters per second, and it'll allow fighters and small ships to go 800 meters a second. Yeah, we're gonna be flying fast. We'll go ahead and add in, let's put in an engine too real quick. So let's grab the, where is the save engines? That'll work. Those are fun, and they've got a lot of acceleration, so that'll help us out. And you know what, while we're here, we'll hit OK, we'll go to high density, so we have lots to see while we're going pretty quickly. We'll do creative and advanced. Now another thing that they've added in the recent patch is view distance. You can crank your view distance. Now they say 50 kilometers is going to be a big performance hit. Let's give it a go. I haven't tried it yet, but now you can see way out there. A lot of this is going to be dependent on your rig you're using, especially the speed, because the faster you go in procedural generation maps, the quicker your computer is going to have to render and generate all those new asteroids. Everything looks good. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and hit OK, and let's start her up. But yeah, like they're saying you might not want to go over 500 meters a second because a lot of rigs aren't going to be able to handle that. They're not going to be able to generate the asteroids in the distance, especially if your view distance is turned up. It's going to have to generate even more asteroids. Oh, that 50 meters, that 50 kilometer view distance right now is pretty much just froze up my rig while it's trying to load all those asteroids. But it is generating the very first batch of asteroids, so I think that's going to be okay. Now we're going to go ahead and paste in one of my Lex Star fighters. Well, exploration craft. Now, I'll probably spotlight these on another day. And I've already gone ahead and added the Saber engines that we put in the mod pack. Normally they're not on this ship. This is a vanilla ship that I use, but just recently came up with this frame. We've got plenty of reactors in there to power these big engines. Let's go ahead and see how fast we can get her moving. And oh, look at the acceleration. So there we go. We just hit 120, 130. Inertial dampeners off. 300 meters a second. We're now going 3 times the speed that the game would allow, and I'm already starting to get a little bit of chop. Now I have a pretty decent rig, and it's slowing down my computer. Now I've already tested this on normal view distance, and I had no slowdown. And there is the top speed, 800 meters a second. And oh yeah, she's a little choppy. A high density asteroid field, cranked view distance. Understandable. Alright guys, we are back. This is the same map, but I've changed the view distance to 20 kilometers. We're still doing the max speed of 818 meters a second. She's flying just fine. You actually hear the engines there revving a little bit. Now, the fun part is we can cruise. We can really explore now in this mode. I haven't tested it in multiplayer yet. I'm a little concerned about the location syncing, but we'll see how that works later. Right now, I'm loving it. Like, this is a bit much maybe for top speed. If you can control yourself and make sure you don't push it this fast, yeah, it's pretty cool. You can cruise, but here's the deal. Trying to turn at this speed is ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna try to go toward that, and we're doing 800 meters a second in a different direction. It's gonna take us forever, and I'll turn on inertial dampeners. You'll see how fast we stop. This is gonna be dependent on your design, your build. Like, if I turn her around and put these thrusters behind me, should be able to stop a bit faster. Still stopping, still stopping. But there you go, that's the first part of the video. Now the next thing I want to show you guys Well, first we have to ram something. I mean, come on, Jack. If you're gonna build a ship and you're gonna make it go 800 meters a second, we have to show what happens when ship meets asteroid at 815 meters a second. So there's our target. Hopefully I don't miss it, because once you start going, then just forget about turning. And we're gonna bail out just as we get close so we can watch it ram it. All right, 600. We're gonna get there too quickly. 700, come on, hit 8, hit 8, and abandon ship! Oh, where did it go? Oh, I didn't see it crash. Let's try that again. We gotta try that again. I want to see it. All right, finding a target. That's probably not far enough away. How about that one? We'll use that as our target. Centering the target in the view screen. Looking good. Initial dampeners are off. Now check out spectator mode real quick. Like, I don't even know where I am now. Phew! There she goes. I mean, she's gone. She just went this way. Here's how fast you're actually going in spectator mode. There we are. That's us. That's that little dot right there. Oh, good grief. Like, I can't even keep up with it in spectator mode. And we're spinning wildly out of control. Phew. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Back from the point of view. All right, we've got control. Let's turn on inertial dampeners and let's set a ramming course to a relatively good size asteroid. Now, you're probably wondering, what's up with your camera, Shaq? Why is it like zooming in and out when you rotate around the ship? Well, your camera is affected very minutely by the velocity of your ship. Now, once you start going over 100 meters a second, that little tiny like kind of G-force feeling that I think they were trying to convey with the camera gets exaggerated a lot, a hell of a lot, by just a crazy amount of G-forces you're pulling at 800 meters a second. So that's what that camera, the weird like camera angles are all about. All right, here we go. I set course for an asteroid, and I'm going to bail out and turn on inertial dampeners for, all right, inertial dampeners are off here. And as soon as I bail, turn on mine. Bail. There she goes. Oh, good grief. Oh, it like chopped up for a second. Nothing. Just obliterated. There's not even pieces. I don't even think the game knows how to like render parts of the ship because they're all going so fast. They're just instantly destroyed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there is super speed in Space Engineers. You can mod it to a variety of different speeds. I saw mods going from an extra 100 meters a second to 800 meters a second. It's really up to you. All about customizing your own game, which is one of the best things about Space Engineers. I'm kind of hoping they add it as an option when hosting what you want your server speed to be or your map speed to be. So let's look at the next part of the patch that I'm really, really excited for, and I've already set something up for us. All right, here's an impact at 240 meters a second. Bam! Oh, good grief. Oh, look at her. She's just buried inside. Oh, man. She's still online. Fantastic. I love it. All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. So, the next part of the patch this week that is really badass, actually. It's a update to the sensors and how sensors work. Now, what I'm about to show you is something you guys may actually recognize. This was the map that I spotlighted, the mining facility. And it's an old school mining facility built into an asteroid. It's probably been there for a couple of decades. But it does have now, with this new patch, a defensive system. And I'm going to show you what the sensor is able to do. So what they've added, let me show you real quick. What they've added is, we'll switch over to the mining colony on the radio here, and I'll look at the sensors that are on board it. Oops. And here you go. So what they've added is you can now detect players. Now, you could always detect players, but now they've gone even deeper. You can detect whether it's the owner of the station or the sensor itself. You can detect if it's just a friendly, like your buddy coming over to check out your star, your base or your ship or whatever, a neutral or an enemy. Now, Keep in mind, I don't have an enemy to test this with. I was going to get Valefor to be my enemy in this instance, but we just have to deal with me. So, our starbase, right? We've got it there. It's an old mining facility, and they need to scan ships as they come in to trade and whatnot. And an enemy ship comes in, they need to know immediately. So, let's say I'm an enemy ship. Now, right now I have it set up to be friendly, so it won't shoot at me. But let's say I'm an enemy ship. You got 2 sensors up there on the top. I'm going to point my little laser pointers at them. There's 2 sensors right there. Those 2 sensors and timing block are controlling the defensive system. So this is just the demo of it. The sensors have been tripped, and a turret is coming out of the ground because it's detected an enemy. There's an enemy nearby. The turret has also just turned online. It was off beforehand. That means that you can leave your base, you can have a defensive grid. Say you have 6 or 7 of these turrets set up with maybe 20 or so sensors around your asteroid. You can leave your base with all those turrets offline, not drawing power. But when an enemy is detected in your sensor grid, all the defensive systems can turn online and they'll rise either out of their, out of their bays, or maybe they'll just turn on. And you can do almost anything with this system. It's very cool. So that's one example of it, the turret setup. And when I leave, using the timing block, when, say, the enemy is no longer detected, or maybe the defensive systems blew it out of the sky with their torpedoes or missiles, when you leave, the way I have this one set up, I'm just going to pull back here. The turret shuts down, this is using the timing block, and it actually pulls it back underneath. So the enemy doesn't know where those turrets are, where the defensive systems are, so they can't line up shots. Now, the sensors are really exposed here, and there's only 2 of them. If I was going to make a full sensor grid, I'd add more of them, and I'd try to kind of like hide them inside the asteroid, is what I was thinking for a really cool defensive grid. But for an old mining facility like this, they only need to really protect the entrance. That's all they're worried about. All right. Another way that you can use the new sensor grid, and I'll go ahead and jump out of here. Say, I was thinking garage door. No longer do I have to go through the radio on my ship and click buttons or whatever. All I have to do now is, wake up out of my miner's bunk that I've gotten there. Come on downstairs, have my coffee, walk out here, and walk right up to the door here. And this sensor here will trigger. And that'll trigger the piston, which is pulling the door underground. What happened to my mining ship? Oh, the landing gear must have snapped during the multiplayer session I was messing around in. All right, so let's see. I get into my mining ship, had my coffee, ready to go do some mining out here. Now, instead of having to, again, use a macro or go through radios or anything like that, I can just jump in my ship, I fly up and out, and that sensor triggers the door again. And the door shuts, and I'm ready to go about my business. And when it's time to put the ship away, I just fly low and in front of that sensor, and it'll open the door, and I park it, and I'm good to go. I just have to shut it on my way out, which I can set up for like a button or something. So there's all kinds of neat things you can do. I mean, I could set up the drawbridge here, so we can go over to the control tower easier just by sensing if you're friendly, and the bridge will come up every time a friendly person walks onto it. I mean, there's lots of neat things you can do. I think it's pretty cool. So there's that, And that's it for this patch, the big things. We had a view distance update, which is pretty cool if your computer handle it. They've got the speed update, which they recommend 500 meters a second. And then they've got, of course, the sensor update, which is really, really exciting. And I can't wait to see what people do with it. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. Another Let's Play episode is coming soon, so don't worry about that. They just take a little bit of editing because we are actually playing the game. We're not just scripting all of this out, so the events that happen in the game affect the story. All right, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.